Most anglers pick lure colors based on what looks good in the tackle box or what worked last time out. But the color a bass actually sees changes dramatically with depth, and the science behind it is a lot clearer than most people realize. After 30 years of fishing clear lakes, stained reservoirs, and muddy farm ponds, I've learned that understanding how light filters through water and how a bass actually processes color can eliminate a whole lot of guesswork on the water. I'm Travis from Green Valley Anglers, and in this video, I'm going to break down the science of bass vision, show you exactly how colors disappear as you go deeper, and give you a simple system for choosing colors that still look right to the fish, no matter where they're holding. One quick note before we get into the science. This isn't some abstract theory that only matters in a lab. It directly explains why a color that's been slaying them all summer suddenly goes cold the second you move to a deeper piece of structure. And understanding why can save you an entire afternoon of second-guessing your box. Let's start with how the fish actually sees color, because it is not the same way we do. Humans have 3 types of cone cells in our eyes, tuned to red, green, and blue light. That gives us a huge range of color we can pick apart. Bass are dichromatic, meaning they only have 2 main cone types. Research out of the University of Illinois, published in the journal Current Zoology, confirmed that largemouth bass have green-sensitive cones peaked around 535 nanometers, and red-sensitive twin cones peaked around 614 nanometers. They don't have blue-sensitive cones at all. That single distinction, dichromatic versus trichromatic vision, is honestly the foundation for everything else we're about to cover, so keep it in the back of your mind as we get into how depth changes the picture even further. What that means on the water is simple. Reds and greens stand out clearly to a bass, but blues, purples, and even some yellows tend to collapse into similar dark or gray tones in their vision. Chartreuse is a great example. To us, it looks like a loud, obnoxious green-yellow. To a bass, it can actually appear closer to white because it stimulates both their red and green cones at the same time, which reduces contrast and makes it read almost like a bright, neutral flash. Now, bass absolutely still use color when there's enough light available. I'm not saying color doesn't matter. I'm saying their palette is more limited than ours. And that limitation becomes a much bigger deal once you factor in what water does to light as it travels down through the column. And that brings us to the real key to this whole video, how water strips color away with depth. Water absorbs different wavelengths of light at different rates, and it doesn't do it evenly. Red light has the longest wavelength, and it's the first to go. In clear water, red starts fading noticeably by about 10 feet, and it's largely gone by 15 to 20 feet. Orange and yellow are next to disappear. Green light punches deeper into the water column, and blue wavelengths travel the farthest of all in clear water. Here's what that actually means for your lure selection. A bright red crankbait that looks absolutely on fire sitting on your rod locker will appear dark gray, almost black to a bass once it reaches those deeper depths. It's not that the fish can't see the lure, it's that the red is simply no longer part of the available light spectrum down there for the lure to reflect back. There's nothing left to bounce off of it. I remember a trip a few years back on a deep, clear reservoir where I burned through half my tackle box throwing bright red craws around 40 feet of water, convinced I just hadn't found the right one yet. Once I finally switched to a black and blue jig, it was almost an instant bite. Looking back, that red just wasn't showing up as red down there at all. It was invisible, contrast-wise, basically the same shade as the rocks around it. Now, stained or murky water speeds this whole process up dramatically. Particles and dissolved organic matter in the water absorb and scatter light much faster than clear water does, so that usable color range gets compressed into just the top few feet. In heavily stained water, even green and blue can fade out quickly, and the fish end up relying a lot more on contrast, silhouette, and vibration than on precise color matching. So here's the simple rule to remember. The clearer the water, the deeper true colors remain visible. The dirtier or more stained the water, the sooner you need to shift your thinking toward high contrast patterns or darker silhouettes, because color alone just isn't going to cut it down there. So let's turn this into something you can actually use out on the water. Here's a simple framework based on everything we just covered. In the top 5 to 10 feet of clear water, the full spectrum is still available to the fish. Natural baitfish patterns, true reds, craw colors, precise imitations, all of them have a legitimate shot at looking correct and true to life to a bass in that zone. From roughly 10 to 20 feet, red is fading fast, and I mean fast. This is where I start shifting towards chartreuse, green pumpkin, watermelon, and other green-based colors that are still reflecting usable light back at that depth. High contrast combinations, like a green pumpkin with a chartreuse tail, also become a lot more valuable in this zone. Once you get deeper than 20 feet in clear water, you're basically fishing in a blue-green world. This is where dark silhouettes, black and blue, Junebug, or fluorescent colors that convert whatever light is left into wavelengths a bass can still pick up tend to outperform pure reds and oranges every single time. And in stained or muddy water, you compress that entire scale down. Treat 5 feet of stained water the way you'd treat 15 feet of gin clear water. Bright chartreuse, solid white, black, and strong contrast patterns become your go-tos, because those subtle natural colors just disappear way too fast in that kind of water to matter. Now, I don't want you overthinking every single cast out there. Start with the depth you expect those fish to be holding and the clarity of the water you're fishing that day, and let that guide your color choice. Shallow and clear, natural and red-based colors are fair game. Go ahead and throw them with confidence. Mid-depth or moderately stained water, lean on your greens, chartreuse, and high contrast patterns. Deep or dirty water, prioritize silhouette and fluorescence over trying to match an exact color, because at that point, exact color match doesn't really exist anymore anyway. I'll give you one more real example. On a stained farm pond I fish pretty regularly, I used to struggle in the middle of the day until I started treating 4 or 5 feet of that murky water like it was 15 feet of clear water. Switching to a solid white spinnerbait with a big thump to it turned those slow afternoons into some of my most productive trips of the whole season, just by respecting how fast that water eats up color and contrast. Also, keep in mind, light intensity changes throughout the day too. Early morning, late evening, and cloudy, overcast conditions all reduce the available light at every single depth, so contrast becomes more important even up shallow on those days. Bright midday sun and clear water gives you the most true color discrimination near the surface, so that's when those natural patterns really shine. Honestly, the biggest mistake I see anglers make, over and over, is tying on a red or orange lure at a depth where that color simply doesn't exist in the light spectrum anymore, and then expecting it to look the same as it did sitting in their hand at the dock. Matching the available light down there is way more effective than matching the color you personally prefer. So let's wrap this up. Fish vision is dichromatic, and it's tuned specifically to red and green light. Water removes red light first, then orange and yellow follow shortly after, leaving greens and blues as the dominant colors available at greater depths. Stained water compresses this entire process down into a much shallower zone, so you've got to adjust your thinking a lot faster in dirty water. When you start choosing your colors based on actual depth and water clarity, instead of just picking whatever looks best sitting in your tackle box, you're putting a far more realistic, believable image in front of that fish. That one single adjustment has produced way more consistent results for me over the years than constantly flipping through colors without any real reason behind it. If this helped clarify how color changes with depth, drop a comment down below and let me know what color patterns have worked best for you out there in deep or stained water. I read and reply to every single comment, so don't be shy. Make sure you subscribe to Green Valley Anglers for more science-backed bass fishing strategies, just like this one. Hit that bell so you never miss a new video when it drops. And go ahead and share this one with somebody you know who's still just guessing on lure color out there. Tight lines out there, everybody. Travis, signing off.